Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 here for the Summit 7 EU pre-qualifiers here. Prodota Gaming, one game up in this best of 3 after coming back from a bit of a dip. EPG starting to get into the game, but then ultimately unable to execute on their lineup. So now that means they're only one game away from punching the ticket to the main qualifiers for the Summit, which would be huge for them. EPG have another chance to prevent that right now, and we'll start with the draft. My name is DragonDrop. I'm joined by PQMZ. What are your thoughts so far on the last game?
Before I say, is this the only qualifier, or is there multiples?
That is the only one. 2 teams will make it through, so even if EPG lose here, they'll have another chance tomorrow against the winner of either Vega or Team Spirit, who are battling each other right now in round 1 of the lower bracket.
Okay, well, that's at least good that there's 2 teams going through.
Yeah.
Because E is pretty stacked.
It is, always has been, I guess, but
Yeah, we might not have the best teams for the most part, but unless you count OG, and then yeah, they do.
Yeah, OG is kind of good.
10 seconds.
Decent team. Has some success here and there.
5 seconds.
With multiple rosters.
Yeah. But I mean, I for one really enjoy just watching this tier 2 Dota, even though it may not always make it to the big events, and might not always match up again in the world or even against the higher tier. But it's a lot of fun to watch most of the time. So
You learn a lot watching it as well, right?
Oh yeah.
Last game, if that was played by 2 tier 1 teams, you'd see a completely different pace of the game. There'd be different priorities on different things, and it gives you like a second view on something that you don't see at TI. Like the way different teams prioritize things, how they use their drafts differently. Like 3 out of these 4 heroes on Kiev were pretty good first, second, third picks. Darkseer eventually, as the event went on, got a bit more popular, but teams weren't really utilizing it, and they were going with these like meta roaming support heroes that all have invis, give you ways of getting vision, because they're annoying as hell to play against, and it's one of the most broken things in the game.
Oh yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
You can just go wherever you want, and you can place vision anywhere, which is something supports like Crystal Maiden can't do, because they're going to get spotted by wards, or they are going to die to cause that it's rotating between camps. And it sets up kills you otherwise have no place getting.
Yeah, the Treant Protector, especially comparison to other Invis heroes, also has that added benefit of the living armor. Can kind of extend the map control that the tier 1s give you, and the tier 2s and whatnot, just keeping the towers alive, unless there's like really good draft with quick tower damage that can take care of them in one push.
Yeah, I think Tree's probably one of the better heroes right now. It does everything you want from a support. You give it a blink dagger, it gives you catch on nearly anyone.
5 seconds.
It's really annoying to play against as a core because your items have to be prioritized slightly differently. With Juggernaut, he likes Manta anyway, but you might have to consider like a BKB at some point depending on what EPG draft. And it's also a hero that can play hyper aggressively, like having a Darkseer Treant dual lane. You don't really want to go into that as any support.
No.
You're just going to get smashed by a tree.
You're not winning that trade. You're not winning that trade in first 5 minutes. Not at all. Even without Iron Shell, of course. Treant with the biggest base damage in the game.
What is it, like 89, 98, something
stuff like that, yeah, in that area. That's without any sort of Iron Branches or Pharaoh Fires that they may pick up or something. But yeah, it is what it is.
See like an Venom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's...
Which got buffed as well, so...
But yeah, Prodota, they got some good heroes of their own though. Juggernaut fits into many drafts, for better or worse. Crystal Maiden, also another one of these high value picks. One of the most picked heroes in Kiev, so it's...
Do you know who was the most picked?
I
really don't follow the stats, but they are interesting. Because I'd have suggested CM being number 1.
Was very tight between CM and Treant. I remember that much after the group stage. I'll check on that.
I thought she was banned for half of it though. But anyway, another reason I really like Tree is that a lot of teams struggle to
Radiant team
capitalize on the weaknesses of the hero. And as long as you don't draft like Medusa Anti-Mage as your cores, and they're two cores that just want to farm and ignore the entire early game process, then it's extremely hard to take towers against this hero because you just want to fight with it all the time. If the enemy is hitting your tower, you just go with 2-3 heroes plus, I don't know, your mid laner or your carry, whichever one is more fight ready. You stop them hitting it, you heal it back up, and
Yep.
the game just becomes really hard because objectives are extremely important right now. And the more open the map is, generally, the better most drafts get, at least from a winning process. Darkseer Ember very good at fighting, defending towers.
Oh yeah, gels together quite nicely, as you mentioned. But yeah, I have the numbers here right now for Kiev. Crystal Maiden most picked hero in 54 games, 46.5% of the time, with a 60% win rate. Mostly picked in first phase, and followed by Monkey King with 43, Warlock with 42 games, and then 336, a little bit further off.
Yeah, that makes sense. Tree was banned like so often.
Yeah. And why do you think the Crystal Maiden wasn't banned more often in contrast?
It's not good enough to ban. It's really nice to have, but I would rather ban Ricky, Treant, Bounty. Oh, sorry, not necessarily Bounty, but like Monkey King if teams play it really well. If they don't, then I don't think it's that good of a ban. And a lot of teams were favoring like 1 or 2 flavor bans mixed in with the roaming supports. So it just wasn't good enough to ban, but it was good enough to first pick because it doesn't tell anything about your draft, and it's a fairly strong support. I don't like it in conjunction with Disruptor though. I feel like you want a body that's going to do what Tree does, so like Night Stalker or a Vision Hero.
Yep. Ideally, someone who is really wants to spam spells as well to really get the most out of this Arcane Aura. And speaking of mana, and the Essence Aura on top of that as well now with the OD. So they're not gonna run out of anything, more than likely. Both health with the healing ward as well as mana, so the sustain is there for Prodota, but how greedy
I
is
don't
this
know how
now?
good it is. So
Yeah.
like Disruptor as an early hero is, if they can win their safe lane in the first few levels and make it so that the Tree and Darkseer don't feel comfortable going to that lane, he's going to feel okay. But if they get run over in that lane, he's not really going to have a place in the game. OD is a decent matchup against Ember for the lane, but it's what you get when the heroes get to say level 7, level 8 at minute 10 or a bit earlier, and then how much impact they actually have moving out of the lanes. And Elements have a very, very aggressive lineup.
Radiant team pick.
Nice the last pick for them into the Nyx Assassin from Prodota, so that'll be their offlane. Is that enough to kind of tie it up a little bit for Prodota to just be that eye on the map?
They have one hero that's going to make plays the entire game, and once sentries or gems start coming out, I don't see it being good enough. Like, and then the follow-up as well. If their cores are weak enough to die to a Nyx and Static Storm, great. But I don't know. I think it's a similar story to last game, where if everything clicks for them, then it's a good draft, and they're going to have a really easy time playing. But if elements start running at them and things go badly for them, and then their cores are kind of all trying to farm in their jungle or in some janky spot on the map that is like by the enemy tier 2 because you know no one's farming here because they're all in your woods, then it's going to be really hard for the heroes to get what they need.
Yeah.
Whereas elements, it's like they just kind of get their levels, they get their first run of items, and then they see a hero that shows on the map that isn't CM or Disruptor and says, we're going to go kill you. And if they can take the tower afterwards, great. If not, then they're just going to wait for another hero to show on the map and then go to that lane.
Yep.
I think they have a much better draft this game.
That's very stable lanes, very good early peaks with the lifesteal as well as the Ember. Good delivery methods as well for the lifesteal bomb, so they good initiation potential overall. So it's on paper a lot of things are. What's happening with my? There we go. That's the right talkie. Yeah, on
I think
paper
the
I
only
like that
issue-
lineup much more than Prodota's.
Yeah, it's just enabling the Sand King, I think, is the only issue. But if they just do like this
Look at this
aggro
actually.
styling,
Yeah, look at this. What he's doing already.
he's just going to go back to base, so it's not too big a deal. But
But forcing to skill glimpse first.
I don't think he necessarily like wants any other skill. If it's just, I think it's very much going to be a defensive hero this game.
Yeah.
At least they get the D-Ward. But yeah, I mean, I guess I can just run the Sand King as an aggro. So you don't really need anyone bottom to zone the Nyx.
30 seconds.
Like, Lifestealer wins that matchup quite comfortably.
Oh yeah. Right now, Treant Protector second round Invis. Sometimes we see Treants go for the Leech Seed if they want to go and help out a little bit more in an aggressive fashion. Right now, sitting defensively, helping out, just getting the vision at the very least, keeping tabs on anyone who might enter the jungle, placing down some walls or whatever. Yeah, the Horde blows. Game number 2. Prodota's 1 game up
The battle
in this
begins.
best of 3, and if they win this one, despite the drafts almost, they'll punch their ticket to the main qualifiers for the summit. If they don't, well, we'll go to game 3, which is exciting in its own right. Alright, so dual lane for now with the Darkseer and the Sand King.
I feel like you'd just be better having the tree here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just buys a TP and comes up here, honestly. It's like Sand King can die in this lane super easily. Like this.
Might just do it right now. Gotta just able to keep up, get all of that blade fear damage in. It's not quite enough to secure the kill, but forcing LeBron to TP all the way back to base. So Prodota asserting dominance here, making sure that they only have to deal with the stocks here,
Dire's top
which
tower is under attack.
that's a matchup that we saw, I believe, in our first game in the best of 1. It's not the worst for the Juggernaut.
No, if the two supports don't feel comfortable being up here, then Prodota win this lane, because Darkseid just will die to the combination of these 3 heroes, so he's going to shove the wave in and play very passively.
Yep.
Is exactly what Prodota want him to do. Saying Jug farms under the tower, the supports can pull the waves, because Jug is one of the better heroes at last hitting and tanking waves under the tower, and then they can just play their game how they want to. But now, like, the Sand King's just coming back up here, and I don't know.
Radiant's middle
I feel like they've got their
tower is
wires
under attack.
crossed with which hero should be where.
Gogi is trying to do some pulls and stuff like that, but it's something that Nyx Assassin can take advantage of.
Yeah, well, like, you can see he's already struggling to pull.
Yeah.
Because
33 is trying to prevent us here. The range creep's still gonna be down here. Might have to fight for that particular set of experience points. Yeah, let's talk about mid lane here. How's this going? As you would expect, perhaps Kaiser slightly in the lead in terms of CS right now.
Yeah, it's a like 60-40 matchup, I'd say. The Ember's going to get his farming levels. OD is just going to get a bit more. Unless you have like outlying circumstances, like runes.
Like a Crystal Maiden rotating in. Gonna try and go and pigment check here. Yes, Flame got up level 2, so not a whole lot of damage actually coming out from all of this stuff. It's a little bit of annoyance at the very least.
I don't really understand why he does this either. Because if he's top, like, the Sand King's constantly worried about dying. Yeah. If he wants to rotate mid, then it's like, it's just weird. If you want to farm jungle camps and be a bit more efficient across the map, it makes a bit of sense.
Yeah, I think that's what he was doing. I mean, he found this hard camp, saw the mud golems on the side, so he just throw it on mid because he could. But top lane, Spin coming through. Gala sitting very low health though. Spin will time out. A glimpse back on LeBron instead of Mitch, who's now falling down the tower. Might have been a mistake. He gets help from the tree and Arma. He's really wants to get this kill. The Berserk will not connect, but they'll still get it with the last couple of punches here. But they will lose one at the very least. Milan doesn't catch LeBron with the second, but J4 does.
Guess you didn't know a
with the Frostbite. It's a 2-for-1 trade, first blood rounds for EPG, fairly even trade at the end of the day. A little bit in their favor, I suppose.
Just imagine your CM's there for that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, then they don't make the play and you're being a bit less inefficient, but this is the whole point of this, like, really aggressive 4-5 from EPG, that they can make plays like this. And the Sanking's not having the best of games after his few missed stuns, the early rotation not working for him.
Yep. For another rotation mid here with the Iron Shell, but once again misses the Sun and Kaiser as he steps back just in time. Now it's just having to deal with the supports again. 2 against 1. Does have another stun, gets into a Roche pit, but do have a glimpse available actually? Not a range for it, yeah. Right, so overall, who would you give the advantage in the lane stage so far?
I think considering it's like pretty much even, Prodota have a lot of a harder time making it look even. So they'll be quite happy with this, I think. Like the OD's doing exactly what he wants in the mid lane, just farming away, getting the levels, while the Ember's kind of a bit zoned out, farming the jungle. It's looking really good for them. And because the Nyx is getting levels bottom, because you can't zone him with like 2 heroes unless you can actually kill him, which they haven't been able to yet.
Yeah. He's still getting his
Probably.
levels, which is all he really wants.
Yeah, there's a very happy Nyx. And sure, the lifesteal is free farming, but that's what's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
I'd be way more worried about their low impact offlane.
I can't remember the last time I saw a lifestealer not win his lane.
Yeah, that's what the hero's designed to do.
Yeah.
The only time it really struggles is if you have like 2 really weak supports and they aggro lane you.
Yep.
Other than that, it's a very, very easy hero to just plant in a lane and say, you know what, you're going to do at the very least even here. And then our supports can go do what they want. It's half the reason people pick it. And this could be huge
gee.
if J4.
He sees it too, Pigman check. He's still sticking around. Gogi, I think he scouted out this rotation. I think he saw him walk across, but it was nighttime, I'm not 100% sure, but... Oh. That was a free kill on a mid laner for a Crystal Maiden.
No, that's disgusting.
Oh, man.
The amount of vision he just gets from having that rune and getting the kill on top of it. Now he gets an Invis rune. I kind of like the build he's going this game because the Frostbite's so good against multiple heroes on EPG.
Yeah, especially the Ember. I mean, when you max it up, that's what's 3 seconds on a hero? Yeah. Of course, with the root, you can't run it out.
It's a bit more for like the Sand Kings, because the Slight is still pretty good at getting out.
Yep.
Or at least delaying it. Normally, I hate this because I think Crystal Nova is one of the best spells. And not having levels in it really hurts me as a CM player, but ever since they changed the root mechanic and how it completely destroys heroes like Sand King, and if you can lock down surge targets for a bit longer, then it feels really nice.
Yep.
So
these item builds, or these skill builds being used to accommodate what they're up against. Also for the OD, sometimes you see ODs just skip the Arcane Orb entirely and max out the Astral Imprisonment, but yeah, exactly. In this matchup, I mean, we saw it before. He forced that DM out of lane because even with living armor and stuff like that, he's still punching big holes in his health pool. But top lane, well, they get the stun off onto Juggernaut. The only use has been a lot of damage being done with double Iron Shell, stick charges, not enough to keep him safe. Can't get anything else in return here. They already got the Sand King. Lan sticks of his own. J4 looking for the right Frostbite target. There it is. Follow up there from 33. That'll be the Darkseer, stunned up by Carapace, easy death. Gogi looking for the punches, and Milan gets the last hit in as well. She missed with the Iron Shell, getting that from the grave, but now with Swift ending Piving Check, making rotations here, they're actually looking to turn this very much in their favor, and there it is. Ultimately a 4-for-1 trade. With 4 for 2. Yeah, Darkseer as well as the Sand King died.
And this is kind of what you expect DPG to want to do. They want to rotate if not both, one of their cores to this lane, and ideally already have one or two of their supports there and just run at these heroes. I don't think it's going to be particularly easy to take the tower if Prodota want to defend this, but they've already shown they drop bottom, so they can slowly chip away at this and creep here. This is like what they wanted to accomplish. And if they can continue to make this work, then their early laning stage issues aren't going to be a problem for them. But it's all about how Prodota read the map and mostly how they move the Nyx, I think. If he's in the right place to counteract these movements and maybe get an early pick or something, then it creates a lot of issues.
Now he's working his way down bottom where God and J4 already softening up Mitch, so if he's not careful, if he's walking out now, he'll just run into the clutches of the Nyx assassin. But, there it is, stunned up by his own Iron Shell. Yeah, a little bit of extra help needed from J4 thanks to the living armor helping out, but still. They get the kill, they set up for the tower. TP in though from LeBron. He has a passenger too, so looking to try and turn his Garda. Has a spin, has an Omni Slash in a second here. They need to do more damage. Glimpse back on one. Garda is so close to dying in the last swipe comes through from Lifestealer. Gets outside of the Static Storm as well. So now the leg damage should really fight up against him. LeBron threatening another burst strike as well, but Prodota once again not with a clean trade.
It's really nice that they're moving this Lifestealer to wherever the fights are happening. He's their most farmed hero by far, and as you saw there, they don't have a way of dealing with him. So if they can respond to like anything that Prodota does like that, that's their game plan, right? As I said earlier, they show heroes on the map, they run at them. That's what they want to be accomplishing. They just want to be as economical as they can while that's happening. Because the Ember's got a lot of catching up to do.
Especially against his mid lane matchup OD. Just finished up the Midas like 2 minutes ago or so.
This'll come in handy.
Got one use out of it already.
This is kind of what you'd expect, I think. Without the supports roaming and have any impact because they were involved in the side lanes all game. It's kind of just how the matchup naturally runs.
Well, Invis heroes on either side up top. They see Mitch. Doesn't have there it is, Nineshell going on a creep, but he misses the follow-up stun, so.
That's the power of tree.
Yeah.
Oh, Invis heroes.
Keeping tabs on what's happening there, making sure that the Darkseer can walk away. Now perhaps setting up for 33. Epicenter being channeled. Does not have the Spike Carapace for another couple of seconds. Gets a stun off, but nothing else. So good catch there. It'll also follow Gardler to walk away soon. Maybe he gets bashed up though into the spin. Nothing to follow up, but didn't want to dive here. Lan is ready here to go for him instead. It does have the Static Storm very nicely being done into the Omni Slash, doing a bit of extra damage here to catch two. That's 2 kills for Gara. Or 1.5, I guess.
That was slightly disrespectful.
Just a bit greedy. Meanwhile down bottom, alright, Lifestealer's still going ham. J4 just he wants to frostbite but he can't. And hop into a creep. Great. So frustrating at times to play against this. Alright, he's in one of my creeps and I can't do anything against it.
At least they're getting something though, where like EPG making that tower dive is a really good thing that Prodota can punish. You see, like whenever they show on lanes, like they're so scared, and if they had Dust on the Sand King instead of a Sentry, they get that kill.
Yep.
And every time they get kills like this, it's just creating pressure, it's creating gold advantage, and every time they throw that away, it's giving Prodota so much more time than they should have. Because that's a very calculated move. Like, you just don't dive it tier 2 and you continue growing your lead. But instead, they made the decision, they get punished.
This was daytime right now. The Nyx Assassin could have maybe sniped the courier if you saw it. Stands just walking away, getting a bit of extra scouting information regardless. And now LeBron just throw down a Static Storm. Why the hell not? Throw down an ultimate here. Nasty position for them to fight and theoretically enter the shrine. And plenty of TPs come through. They should be able to claim the Crystal Maiden in return. And Milan at the same time. Look at him juking and jiving, but yeah, he's also not long for the world. No TP to get himself out, so not sure that was worth it. Getting 2 kills for the cores, only for Sand King.
It was really weird as well because the Nyx was with them when they smoked, and then he went to farm this camp when the CM went to the high ground to get the ward, and then the Sand King broke the smoke and they took the kill. So there wasn't really another option, but it definitely still favors EPG. Like, they just want to be getting kills, and if Prodota can have their 2 cores farming while that's happening, it's not the worst thing for them, because their 2 cores are their draft. Everything else is just enabling them, and the more time they buy, the better. But if they then have this where they die, or get dived,
there's Milan, they're going on him here. No ultimate for him to turn us around this time, but the rest of them coming through. Follow-up stun with the epicenter. And Garda's not really impressed by it, so he does grab a counter kill. Glimpse back on 1, and Kaiser starting to right-click, starting to build up that damage. Maybe he can get a chance. But so far it's only done 1 for him. 33. I see the DD picked up by Swift Ending. Not sure if they want to go for him instead. They glimpse back Mitch, and now, well, 33. Nice save there from Kaiser. Now the rage will start to wear off, and Garda, well, threatening the Omni Slash, but of course he knows that his own ultimate is still available. Hopping into one of these tanky agents.
I feel like that's a play they can make if Darkseid has mech, but he doesn't. And they also didn't have their lifestealer like in the Sand King at the time. Whereas if he was, I think that's like instantly 2 kills.
If he gets on top of Garda there while he was spinning in the middle of that, he can do enough damage here with the armlet.
It was a really nice stun from the Sand King.
Yep.
Not having a Blink Dagger hits 2 heroes, sets his team up. They just didn't quite have the right heroes in place. And that's the kind of play you don't make if you don't have all the stars aligned for you most of the time. And they didn't really lose anything for it, but they're not gaining from it, and that's what they want to be doing.
In the meantime, the Midas is ticking for OD as well as for Lifestealer, that's granted.
But Lifestealer, he's getting his net worth from like kills as opposed to farming. The Midas is just a way to keep ticking him over.
Oh, make rotation here. They want to prevent this last hit, and they will be able to secure the deny with his commitment. And now, oh no, slightly mistimed there. They still get the Omnislash off and get the kill. So ultimately,
that's really
great rotation from Prodota. Yeah.
Yeah, and meanwhile, their OD's not under any pressure or anything. There's no counterplay from EPG. They're split across all 3 lanes of the map and their base. And if they can swing this into a tier 1 tower, it's great for them. Like, their Nyx having his Midas and he's just about to tick over to level 12. Everything's looking a lot better for them. And it comes down to EPG just like diving too much.
First tier 1 going down on the Radiant side, so no more heals on this particular lane. Now, going in deeper. The only Invis heroes to worry about though. With Gogi trying to protect his trees, protect his own jungle, but yeah, it's not Omni Slash. Just take what you can get safely and then back off.
This is the one thing I don't like about their support duo though, is the tree is basically buying all the wards, and you can see he wants to get a Midas because he's bought the gloves already, but the hero just feels like it wants to be played as a 4, which is, you're obviously going to let Sand King take the farm, but it's 18 minutes in, he's just about to finish his blink, so then they might be able to give the tree a bit more priority after that. But you still want like a 4-staff or a Yules on Sand King in this game because there's so many ways to enable them to connect on you. You can't just blink, stun, walk away and look to blink again. With the glimpse and the Carapace, there's a lot of ways to lock you down. So you want like a secondary way to get out. And this is their first bomb, I think.
The first blink bomb at the very least. And
I don't think they have Lifestealer bombed.
They had
Really?
before, yeah. Once or twice.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Down bottom when Gala was pushing the tier 1 tower. LeBron TP'd in with lifesteal inside. Or at least one, but they see him actually just stun on the lower ground, so they do know exactly what's up. They commit everything they have. And the lifesteal pops out here. Stuff can be able to range, so he dies as well. Or is he? Almond talking his way to victory just at the edge of it, with some extra help from Gogi's roots, so... But yeah, that's the blink reveal kind of down the drain. Gogi is still in trouble, Dust there to make sure it doesn't slip out on Invis. And 2 kills from Prodota, where EPG were just getting ready to set up for that big reveal play.
Credit to Nyx though, like standing in that position.
Yep.
If they want to make that play, it just counters it.
TB
And now
and they
Ember has
also
their remnant, so
see
he's dead.
Penguin Shack here. They're still being kept alive by a stick. They get Milan in the back, but Kaiser's still right-clicking away. And oh no. Darkseer caught with another frostbite inside the spin. So Kaiser is just farming the wave here. Meanwhile, the fight's still going on. 33 has to be saved, bailed out by his OD. Swift ending. Well, his race about to time out. He still gets some extra help though from Ember Spirit. A lot of damage, AoE damage in a magical form. And an extra follow-up there on the Nyx Assassin. That's some 4 kills total in this deep engagement.
Yeah, a little too deep.
Yeah. Just like maybe Gala made the call. Yeah, let's get out of here. They were
they should have.
too
Like, they nearly killed the Ember, and then I think it was the Darkseer who kind of took the focus after that. After they enabled him to get away, he dies. And then the Nyx is just like, oh, I'll go for more. And then his team kind of gets baited by that play. And the Ember had dropped a remnant. He TP'd home, followed up, came back. And then they were in this complete sandwich. Because they're fighting in between tower, shrine, and the remnants here.
Yep.
And there's also tier 2 here. So they're completely boxed in at that point. They just needed to get out and be happy with what they got. But considering that Jug is topping the net worth, OD is on par with the Lifestealer pretty much, and his Midas is... like, it's just good for them. This is what EPG do not want to have happen. Their aggressive play has been completely stemmed by them overcommitting to dives, and now their lineup is... I still think it can fight, by all means, but it's just... you feel that pressure now. If they fuck up the fight, then the other 2 cores are just going to be that much bigger. And it might lead to a Roshan, which then means you can't take the next fight, or it might lead to a tower, which you don't want to lose because you have a Treant. And the hero is very reliant on getting these things.
Great scan from the Radiant here, but it does just short. Now LeBron gets glimpsed back into the stun. He does have a passenger. Once again, Static Storm prevents him from raging. Follow up there with the CM mold. I feel like we've seen this before. He gets out with rage here. Beautiful vacuum wall into another bit burst from Penguin Shack. So 3-for-1 trade. Carbon copy of the last team fight almost, except it's happened a little bit quicker. Now Gata. Last man standing here being chased down. Still has spin, still has Manta Style to get rid of that. So wisely spacing out his abilities, but another root catches him there, and they will still secure the kill for Penguin Shack.
That was a huge turn. Like, the back and remnants completely turned the fight. And they were doing the right thing, kind of fighting under their vision, and they got a pretty key pick-up to start with, but like, Jug wasn't there to hit the Lifestealer when he was ultied by the Disruptor.
Yep.
And then the fight just turns around because he's a Lifestealer. He pops Rage, he pops Armlet. In this case as well, he pops a stick, hits a few heroes, and then you're running. And add on to that like a triple back double remnant. I don't think he used all 3.
I'm not sure.
Because
It was enough damage regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
Really matters.
And now they were in this position that they were fairly controlling of the game. Their heroes were getting their farm, and then they just take this fight that gives up an Aegis as a consequence on top of, was it like a 4-for-1? 3-for-1?
4-for-1.
4-for-1, right? Yeah, because Nyx was the only hero that lived. And now the game's completely shifted again. Because they have this tool that just lets their lifestealer play man mode, and then they have these 4 heroes that just play off the vision. Well, more 3 heroes. Daxia wants to get as much value out of his vacuum as he can, which is very easy when you just have this lifestealer hero hitting a tower, and Prodota's only response is farm on the other side of the map. The deep push is actually just horrible. It's non-existent.
Yeah. Even Crystal Nova, which is like their best spells on level 2.
This'll come in handy.
TM isn't even there, so...
The deep push is like OD hurricaning the lifestealer and then hitting him a few times.
Yeah.
But that only works for the high ground. At the moment, they're only looking for the tier 2s, which I think is a smart play. Because they can still watch the fights really easily, as we've seen in the past, so just take what you can get.
That'll be the second tier 2 going down up top. Meanwhile, Kaiser down bottom only now getting to the tier 2 in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and if he does chip damage, it doesn't matter, because they've got a Treant, so this massively favours them. If they can do some chip damage to a tier 3, force some rotations back and not give anything up, that's the game they want to play.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Oh, glimpse back though, that's long range, but okay, on Lifestealer.
Yeah,
well, it might have been on a Midge, so, but they do catch the Sanking on the other end, so...
Yeah, that's a bit greedy.
Yeah.
Like, Nyx is just the best catcher for these heroes like Sand King and Alright,
so what does Prodota have to do now to consolidate? Get some ward pushing up, try and find some pickoffs on the Nyx.
I think most of it is the Nyx movements. Like, the Jug's in a position to do plenty of damage in fights if he's enabled, but I think they just want to dodge the fights as much as they can. And if they can do that with pickoffs from the Nyx, then it's just going to delay EPG.
Well, he sees the Darkseer walk by, but can't really
this is
kill him
just
without
info
help, and this is a bad position with the Shrine being there.
Yeah, you want to use this to, like, he could snipe the Kari and maybe get away, but if you just look at these heroes here...
Oh, they catch him, vacuum into the burst, right? That looked a little bit funny. A lot of spells being used, and he's just TPing out. Okay. So that was Epicenter and Overgrowth for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Seems good.
Affirmative. Yeah. And meanwhile, OD finishes off his PKB, the Jug's working towards his Blink. Wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to get a BKB himself, because a lot of these fights are awkward for him to play in Blade Flurry, because you want to be doing right-click damage, but you also are very, very scared of like Lifestealer being able to connect on you after Sand King stuns you, or getting vacuumed into Ember Remnants and all that crap. But Blink just enables the hero so much, I really wouldn't be surprised.
Bottom lane might have something brewing here, but wait inside. Complete control of the jungle for the moment, and Prodota also have that feeling in their bones. They don't want to continue unless they're all 5. Instead,
No,
they
just
continue
don't want
to
to
keep
be 5.
Yeah. Split up, farm wherever you can. Try not to die. And Nyx Assassin's results. I was going to say reduced to this kind of intelligence gathering hero, but if that's what they need, then
it's not reduced at all, it's like promoted, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Early in the game, you couldn't do this because your cores didn't have the items to survive the ganks. Like, now, OD can force away, he can BKB TP if Overgrowth's been used, and there's a lot of ways for them to get out. As you saw with the Nyx, he also has tools to, like, get out now. And that creates this position where the map's a lot more open. And if they do commit for a kill, with less than, like, 5 heroes, you can make counterplays on the other side of the map. Or you just give vision, and you stop the one from going.
Yep.
And their cores feel comfortable enough to, like, actually go out on the map now.
Oh, there it is! Vacuum into Burst Strike into wall on 3 heroes! Double Remnant into the Stagstorm to try and turn us around. They only got the Disruptor after he got the spells off. Actual stun from Nyx, but just not enough damage there. Omni-Slash bouncing through between plenty of heroes. Gotta have to spin out. They do repel the push, though, after all. The buyback from the Nyx, but
initiation.
I think EPG is still happy with that. They're even continuing here, swift ending. No
Yeah, they want more
signs of
buybacks.
slowing down at all. Ping check as well. There it is. Another one from the OD. Very important one. It might even get the dieback on 33. Not quite just yet though. And they, in fact, they will lose their ping. The ping is dead.
I think they'll take that for the buyback on OD and nearly getting the dieback notes.
Got the kill.
And they
Gotta got
also
the kill
force
too,
the
so-
shrines out. Like, this is something that's often overlooked when you push. If you can get the shrines down and then look to like get another push after.
The lane and find LeBron. Burst strike out. But yeah, it's 5 years behind him. There's no way he survives this. But yeah, as you said, all 3 shrines now on cooldown for a while.
I don't think they're going to be able to use it, but if they could, it makes a difference, you know. Yeah. They're going to lose the tier 2 for this unless they really want to defend it with a buyback. But I think without the Sand King, it's just like their initiation is not that good. The tree went for the Midas and Medallion route, which you can't blame him as 5th position. So they really need the Sand King for the initiation. And while they can slow it down with living armor.
Definitely posturing here. Gala takes a lot of damage
wow.
from Swift Ending, and Kaiser, he doesn't have the damage to actually finish it off. So for now, it's there. They also see 33 up top. They get the Static Storm actually, and they find 33 again with that vacuum wall, but BKBs come out from both sides. Kaiser hitting left, right, and center. Just trying to build up these stacks. Meanwhile, J4's ultimate there, keeping EPG at bay, keeping them from pushing any further, and that's just great for Prodota if they can keep continuing to kite this lifestealer. So far, so good. Defensive Prism as well, 33, and yeah, they can now finish off this push with, once again, the Sand King being dead.
Yeah, I doubt they'll be able to go for the high ground, but they can just, as they are now, rotate top, put some damage onto this.
Swift Ending posturing very aggressively here again. Slow down 33. Still has 4 left though, and some extra help from another defensive imprisonment. Can feel they see Goga here, walks outside of Invis. It is indeed. True Side sitting in the deck, they'll ping it out. Gotta, yeah, he picked it up himself. And now Mitch also got imprisonment into follow-up stun. Beautiful spread there from EPG, from Prodota, also mitigating that counter damage. But now 3 heroes around the mid hero, but they get plenty of help and finally drops the hammer. Swift Ending also survives that hammer, survives the drop, but not for much long. And the glimpse on Pingman check into the Static Storm pops the BKB just to be able to survive. Prodota, how did they do this? Just constantly taking a fight, constantly kiting. With 4 staffs, with imprisonments.
Like as I said earlier, they kind of have these tools now, and it just makes the game really hard for the other team. In a situation that EPG plays the game really cleanly and doesn't make the mistakes that allow them to get these items, this situation can't happen for another 10 minutes or so. But they accelerated it so much with 1 or 2 mistakes, and a lot of good plays from Prodota as well. Like, they read the map really well, they knew where a lot of the engagements were going to be taken, and they played around it, and they're getting their rewards.
Scan
and
confirms
EPG
that
just
Roche.
feel like...
Yeah, with that they'll actually grab the lead back. Out of 1k after a 6k disadvantage.
It's almost more than that though. It's like... their heroes are not meant to be winning at this stage of the game. And they're only going to start winning more as the game goes on, I think.
Yep.
Until it gets to the point where maybe Darkseer has a Hex, which he isn't going for, they don't really have like the tools to lock these heroes down. They have 1 jump with the Sand King. If there's a vacuum before it, it might hit 2-3 heroes. If not, it's probably just a single target initiation. And then they pop their BKBs, they pop their spin, and they start hitting you, and you're like, oh shit, we've got to run.
Glimpse back on Gogi. Nice catch there, and nothing to really help him out. This is Prodota just asserting dominance in this side of the map now. EPG, unwilling to try and help his buddy out.
As they shouldn't be. That was a nice play from them. Just free pick off. As you said, more dominance on the map. This isn't going to stop. They've got all the tools they need to go high ground now. The Jug is just about to get his Scatty flown in, so all good.
They'll initiate before, and Gala taking a lot of damage. Still has healing ward going, so they don't really care too much. Kaiser holding on to the Aegis, can take over as a frontliner for a moment. They can force chip damage. Still a bit problematic if they can actually finish this tower in this push. But for now,
it's more about like slotting EPG into a bad spot.
Yeah,
so
that is a static storm onto who's that actually? Lifesteal AA, bringing him down. Back and more comes through, but no follow up really. Gallus just sitting in the front, doesn't even give a damn. Now Kaiser finally catching up to throw out these orbs, and that is easy kill on Gogi. Follow up stuns, giving him a triple kill, and buybacks have to come out now. Darcy has one as well, but he has no cooldowns. And Kaiser, yeah, he has the hammer ready to drop whenever he wants to do a ridiculous amount of damage. There it is, Pigment check! And LeBron, just as a side note, once again, a rampage for a pro Dota player. Last game it was Gara, this game it is Kaiser. They're all getting their big banners up at the top, flashing bright and red. Finish up the one set of racks and another buyback comes out. Another one now, finally from Darkseer. Prodota might want to think twice, but maybe not. Pigment check. A lot of trouble again here. Silence, stun, everything. Nice little vacuum into Murder Strike, but where's the damage? It's not there. Prodota, they're winning this fight. They're all dead indeed. I have that on my chat wheel, but I don't have it bound in spectator mode. Godlike's free for Kaiser, and yeah, they just, once again, styling all over EPG in their own base, forcing out the GG. After their great team fights around this top tier 2. Into another great execution with this push. Prodota showed us that they know how to play team fights.
Yeah, they just were the better team throughout the series. I don't think the drafts necessarily went their way or they made their games easy. They just outplayed them.
Yep.
And some of that is maybe EPG outplaying themselves, but at the end of the day, they did what they needed to in the drafting stage. Their execution was just not good enough, and it was kind of the flip side for Prodota. They had good execution, and sure, their drafts might have been a bit iffy, but they played around it really well. And I'm not going to say they're like a different caliber of team, but they just seem like a better team right now.
Yep.
And I'm not sure how long Ping's been playing with this team, because he's been bouncing around a bit. I know the rest of them have been together for a while, but still changing one player can change a lot.
Yeah. Especially Pigment check, the mid player. Kind of an important position to kind of try and tie your team together when it comes to communication. And just
way worse losing like a off laner or a 4 position or a captain, I think. But yeah, anyone can change the team dynamics a lot.
But yeah, with that, Prodota Gaming. 3 games they played today. They won all of them. Best of 1 up against Team Spirit, and now this best of 3 up against EPG, which means we'll see them again in the main qualifiers for the Summit 7. We'll see how well they can match up against the high caliber teams that are waiting for them there. Elements Pro Gaming, they're not completely out of it yet though. They have another chance tomorrow. The match there, and their opponent depends on how Vega and Spirit is going. We can take a look at that in a moment after I have a bit of a break. And if there's a game 3 on that series, then I might just go ahead and cast that here as well. For now though, gonna take a bit of a break. I'll keep you up to date.